Hello, good morning. You can ask your questions.
Good morning, Bhante. This is
Good,
Prashant.
good morning, Prashant.
Yes, so Bhante, Veronica is a little bit busy, so I will ask the question from the chat. So please, everyone, post the question in your chat. But Bhante, while the questions are coming, I want to ask about this momentary concentration, Khanika Samadhi. I know last week we discussed a lot about the different jhanas and how to master those jhanas. Um, and people shared their experiences. But I I want to ask about this Khanika Samadhi. So if you can elaborate on that part.
Okay. Yes, there is a question that Prashant asked me already. A question on Khanika Samadhi. Khanika Samadhi, this particular term is not found in any text, but this is what some people, this term is used by some people. So my answer is not from any text, but perhaps what they mean is that when you practice mindfulness meditation, you focus your mind on every moment of your experience. And this moment is called momentary concentration. So moments is not something static. Moments is something always happening. This moment, next moment, and so forth. Every nanosecond, something is happening that can be the physical change, your feeling, your perception, thought, and consciousness. In Bhante Karata Sutta, Buddha said, Pachupanna Chodhammang Tatta Tatta Vipassati. In the present moment, whatever state you experience, then and there you see impermanence, unsatisfactoriness, and selflessness. Tatta Tatta Vipassati. Vipassati and Passati are two things. Passati means seeing, Vipassati means seeing in a very special way. That means with mindfulness. Vipassati. The word vipassana comes from that same verb, vipassana, seeing in a very special way. So things are happening every fraction of a second, and you become aware of it, and then mind will not wander here and there, and it stays on the track of mindfulness. You see only rising and falling, rising and falling, rising and falling. That itself becomes your concentration. That is called Khanika Samadhi. Samadhi means concentration. Your awareness is so sharp that you don't miss every fraction of a second. Every fraction of a second something is happening. That happens only when you sit to meditate. And that kind of awareness is called Khanika Samadhi. Okay. There is another question. Is it possible for a person to go from equanimity towards formations in vipassana practice to equanimity jhana by just paying attention to the feeling itself? Or do they need to develop the nimitta first with the breath? No, once you start focusing your mind in the breath, on the breath, then as you know, everything is constantly changing. Your mind will not be agitated or excited. So all the things are changing towards a formation. Formation means the volitions. It's called volitional formation sometimes. So Sankara, in 5 aggregates, Sankara means volitional formations, but Sankara in general is everything or anything that comes to existence through causes and conditions. Anything that comes through causes and conditions. Hetu Pachaya. And that is called formation. Now, your question is it possible for a person to go from equanimity towards formations in vipassana practice and to equanimity jhana by just paying attention to the feeling itself? This question is not very clear. You say formations in the vipassana practice to equanimity, jhana, by just paying attention to the feeling or feeling itself, or do they need to develop the nimitta first with the breath? So once you gain equanimity, you don't worry about nimitta. You gain equanimity, you just continue your awareness and don't go back and forth, equanimity and nimitta and equanimity like that. It doesn't happen that way. You don't have to do that. Once you gain equanimity, then you are, on the track. You become aware of equanimity. And then, as we mentioned, equanimity has what do you call nanatasitu upekka, ekatasitu upekka. Nanatasitu upekka is before attaining jhanas, you have equanimity. That means through your senses. Nana means numerous. Numerous here means through your eyes, ears, tongue, nose, tongue, body, and mind. When objects comes, you see impermanence in everything that comes through the eyes, impermanence of everything that you hear from the ears, impermanence in anything you smell, impermanence in anything you taste, impermanence in anything you touch, impermanence in anything the mind object, any mind object, that means Dhamma. Then they are all impermanent. And this, then therefore you will have no excitement, you just become aware of impermanence. That is called nanattasita upekka, impermanence, and then from that you gain equanimity, upekka. Ekantasita upekka is when you gain jhana, first jhana, second jhana, third jhana, fourth jhana, and then immaterial jhanas. And then all through you will have only one equanimity. That is called ekattasita upekha. Then there is another, the upekha can be divided into another section, another part, that is called tammayata and atammayata. And as long as you have not attained enlightenment, you feel that equanimity is yours, my equanimity. That is called tammayata, tammayata. That is mine. And if you attain stream entry and so forth, Subrahmanian attainment, Lokuttara attainment, then equanimity is called atammayata. It is, then you don't insert yourself into it. You become aware of equanimity exactly as equanimity without any distortion. Okay, next question. Dear Bhante, can jhana be attained in walking meditation? Walking meditation, you gain certain degree of concentration, but you don't attain jhanas because when you attain jhanas, you cannot stay steady in standing position. The body become very unstable. Then you have to stop your walking, and it is best that you sit down to gain jhana. I don't advise anybody to try to gain jhana while walking, but you can gain some degree of concentration on seeing the same thing in every step you take forward to walk. And therefore, when you gain that kind of degree of concentration, then you stop and then sit down with that awareness, and then you gain concentration. Okay, next question. Is practicing yoga a type of meditation if you are aware of your movements and breaths? I think yes. Movement in yoga practice, if you really can coordinate your breath with the movement, even if you don't coordinate your movement with the breath, you pay attention to one of them. For instance, movement. Then you will see impermanence, that is mindfulness practice. Every movement you make in yoga practice, you are using hands, legs, and the body very slowly, and every fraction of a second, the movements moving. Movement itself means not static. Not static. Movement means impermanence from one position to another position. And thereby you can become aware of impermanent nature. That way you gain mindfulness. Mindfulness. But when you do yoga, you cannot practice concentration, but you can become mindful. That is possible. If you coordinate your breath, then you will have two things, the bodily movements and the breath movements. And both are impermanent, changing. And you can see only impermanence in them, and in unsatisfactoriness and selflessness, but not very clearly, because when you gain some degree of awareness, it is possible for you to become self-conscious. Self-conscious. Self-consciousness is a stumbling block for vipassana meditation. So first you can see impermanence, unsatisfactoriness. You may not be able to see selflessness. So if somebody wants to do yoga before sitting meditation, one can do it quite well. Or after sitting meditation, one can do that. But don't do both together. And so you can use each of them to gain impermanence. Breath, movement, one of them. Another question is, can you comment if it is okay to support hobbies of monastics? Example, weaving carpets or carpentry. Now, you can do that, weaving carpet for your own use. For instance, if your bed or your table, if you use, if it is broken, you can do it, but not as a profession. As you said, as a hobby, not as even as a hobby. One should not do that while you are meditating. As sometimes you can do it, but in any case, weaving or carpentry, whatever you do it only for your own use. If you do it as a hobby, then your mind will be engaged in your hobbies. If you want to practice meditation, you may not engage in various kind of hobbies. Okay. Any other question?
Bhante, I don't see anything in the chat for now, so we'll see.
I don't see any more questions in the chat box.
Maybe we can have extended duration of meditation today.
Yes, if anybody has any more questions, please take the opportunity now to ask questions. You don't have to verbalize. You don't have to make a audio question, but you can write it on the chat box, as some other people have written. It's very easy. Okay.
So, Bhante, this question came up.
Hmm?
Is the breath is the best object of attention when developing jhana?
May not be the death. Breath. Yes, breath. Yes, breath is a very good object, uh, of meditation to gain jhana. Yes, breath is the best object of attention when developing jhana. Yes, and of course, in many places, Buddha Buddha mentioned one would go to a forest, sit under a tree, cemetery, cave, or heap of grass, wherever, solitary place, and sit straight, upright, cross-legged position, and focus your mind on the breath. In that, he mentioned the 16 stages of breathing, inhaling, exhaling, and then he continued this instruction with the attainment of jhanas. Invariably, he mentioned this, using the breath as the best object of meditation. The reason is, the best is very simple. Anytime anybody can focus mind on it, and very light, and also breath gives various other areas to focus the mind. These are all personal, experiential. It is said that we breathe 25,000 times a day. Our diaphragms move back and forth 50,000 times a day. The breath brings oxygen to our lungs to charge red blood cells depleted of oxygen. That goes to the heart, heart pumps, and that goes throughout the body to recharge 56 trillion cells. This function is done through the breathing. So we feel the breath, we perceive the breath, we think of the breath, we pay attention to the breath, we are conscious of the breath, we can see the breath moving up and down, and so forth. And this gives us rich information to gain concentration as well as mindfulness. And breath is therefore good for both developing concentration and mindfulness. Samatha, vipassana, for both. Okay? Without mental proliferations, etc. As you said, is it possible? Yes. All proliferation can be prevented when you focus mind on the breathing. If thought comes, I can quickly identify and see it goes away. What method should do? That's right. If thought comes, I can quickly identify it and see it, then it goes away. While you're paying attention to your breath, you just dismiss any thought and return the thought. If a thought arises, see the impermanence in the thought. If feeling arises, see the impermanence of feeling. If perception arises, see the impermanence of perception. See consciousness arises, be aware of impermanence of consciousness. What we do then is we see impermanence of 5 aggregates. Breath is the body, then feeling, perception, thought, and consciousness. When it is impermanent, it is unsatisfactory by default. Anything impermanent is unsatisfactory by default. Whatever is impermanent, unsatisfactory also is without self. Default. Without self, default. Therefore, all these three come in one package. Keep this in mind and don't look for anything else if you practice vipassana or even to gain concentration or jhana. You can gain mundane jhanas without saying impermanence, unsatisfaction, and selflessness by just gaining concentration. But eventually, if somebody wants to make meditation really meaningful, really beneficial, really a daily practice, try to gain mindfulness, sati. Because it is all pervasive. Mindfulness you can practice anytime, anywhere, not concentration. It is difficult to gain concentration anytime, anywhere. So you have to have a position, place, quietness, and so forth. But mindfulness, you just become mindful of impermanence. You can do it anytime. So I would recommend that. Okay. Any other question? There is only...
Bhante, you already answered that question, that that the person is unable to sit for meditation daily, but practicing day-to-day mindfulness instead, and how this can support spiritual progress. But you already mentioned that this is
right. Right.
And
I think this question, you can ask this question every day. I give you the same answer every day. So, once truth doesn't have variation. Truth doesn't have variation. Truth is truth today, yesterday, tomorrow, all the time. Akalika. That's what Buddha's Dhamma is. Akalika. Unaffected by time. Dhamma is unaffected by time. It is true in the time of the Buddha, it is true now, it is true into the infinity, eternity. And therefore, let anybody ask me a question on this, and my answer will be this. Not my answer. I am simply copying the Buddha's answer. Buddha said it in Pali, I say in English. So sometimes I can say in English too. But answer will be the same. Okay, friends. If you have any more questions, short question which requires yes or no, ask me now, because we have only 1 minute.
Yeah, I think they're all
okay. 1 minute
question. There is one small question in some Bodhisuttas commentary in Anguttara Nikaya. What is Salil va Kopama Bhante? Salil va Kopama Bhante. Like Salil va Kopama in some Bodhisutta. What does that word mean?
Va Kopama?
Salil va Kopama. Salil va Kopama.
Could you write it?
It's on the last question, Bhante.
Last question, okay. In some Bodhisutta commentary. Salilakupama. 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 I had to look it up and answer next time. Right now, which section in Anguttara Nikaya?
Actually, it says paddy reaper.
Paddy reaper. Paddy reaper's question. I see. That is the question, right? Very good. That means you use mindfulness and concentration. With the concentration, you hold rice and use the sickle and cut the grass. That is mindfulness. You concentration, you grab, mindfulness, you cut. That is sali lava kupama. Lavaka upama. Upama is simile. Salila cutting what do you call paddy reaper. Paddy reaper, he cuts with one left hand. Now hold the grab the bunch of paddy with the left hand, using the sickle with the right hand and cut. So mindfulness is compared to cutting the paddy, concentration compared to holding the paddy bunch. Okay?
Thank you, Bhante.
Okay. I think that is enough. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. So we must end that, and now we have little time for meditation. Okay? Yeah, that. Okay. 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 May all beings be happy and secure. May all beings have happy minds. Whatever living beings there may be, without exception, weak or strong, long or large, medium, short, subtle or gross, visible or invisible, living near or far, born or coming to birth, may all beings have happy minds. Let no one deceive another, nor despise anyone anywhere, neither from anger nor ill will should anyone wish harm to another. As a mother would risk her own life to protect her only child, even so towards all living beings, one should cultivate a boundless heart. One should cultivate for all the world a heart of boundless living friendliness, above, below, and all around, unobstructed, without hatred or resentment, whether standing, walking, lying down, or whenever awake. One should develop this mindfulness. This is called divinely dwelling here, not falling into erroneous views, but virtuous and endowed with vision, removing desire for sensual pleasures. One comes never again to birth in the womb. Okay, with this metta thought, let us meditate. By means of these meritorious deeds, may I never join with the foolish, may I join always with the wise, until the time I attain Bhavana. May the suffering be free from suffering, may the fear struck be free from fear, may the grieving be free from grief, so too may all beings be. From the highest realm of existence to the lowest, may all beings arisen from these realms, with form and without form, with perception and without perception, be released from all suffering and attain to perfect peace. Excellent, excellent, excellent. Now, friends, let us, I want to continue my regular metta wish for all living beings. Particularly, we start with those who are in hospitals suffering from various diseases and taken care of by very compassionate doctors, nurses, and hospital staff. May they recover soon and return to their normal health and continue their Dhamma practice and attain liberation from samsaric suffering. May all the doctors, nurses, and hospital staffs who are taking care of these people, may they find peace, happiness, and time to practice meditation and liberate themselves from samsaric suffering. May all those who lost their loved ones through various means and grieving, may they be free from grief and released from samsaric suffering. May all those who are in various situations, various places, especially in war zones, discriminations, poverty-stricken, and various troubled spots in the world, may they all find somehow some comfort, some relief, and practice metta, practice Dhamma, practice meditation, and find peace and attain liberation from samsaric suffering, not only suffering in this life, but even from samsaric suffering. May others whose categories I have not mentioned, may they all find be peaceful, well, happy, and practice Dhamma and attain liberation from samsaric suffering. It's a very wonderful metta thought that we all must cultivate for our own peaceful mental state. It is the people who practice metta will be benefited from the practice. Not those who do not practice would be benefited. Now, with this, I want to end this session, and you all have a very wonderful day. I'll see you next Saturday. Okay, bye.
Sadhu, sadhu,
Thank you,
sadhu.
Bhante.
Thank you, Bhante.
Sadhu, sadhu,
you,
sadhu.
Bhante.
Thank you, Bhante.
Thank you,
Thank you.
Bhante.
Thank you. That was so nice.
Sadhu,
Thank you,
sadhu,
Bhante.
sadhu.
Sadhu, sadhu.